You know, I've sat beside Ed Rose for years in the dugout, talking softball, breaking down swings, and laughing about the game we both love. But what a lot of people don't realize is that behind that voice is one of the greatest careers the sport has ever seen. Ed's story is not just about championships, it's about resilience, leadership, and a lifetime of giving back to the game that gave him everything. I've seen firsthand the respect he commands from Hall of Famers to rookies just learning how to grip a bat. So I wanted to tell his story the way it deserves to be told, through the eyes of those who played beside him, battled against him, and been inspired by him. This isn't just a documentary about softball. It's about passion, perseverance, and what it truly means to build a legacy. This is the story of my friend and co-host, Ed Rose. Ed's journey, it began way back in Brevard County, Florida, 1966. As a young man, he wasn't yet the legend he'd become. He was learning, developing the instincts, the patience, the competitive fire that would one day make him one of the greats in senior softball history. By the time he hit his mid-30s, everything changed. That's when Ed Rose entered the unlimited home run divisions, and from there, he built a record that few have ever matched. Over 220 championships, local, national, and world titles across 4 decades of domination. It all started in Daytona Beach in 1985. Ed joined the Samatellis, a powerhouse team made up of Florida's finest A-class players. That squad won 35 and over world championship and never looked back. They went on to take multiple SSA state titles and 6 out of 10 USSSA 40 and over world championships. The sponsors may have changed, but the chemistry didn't. The heart of that team stayed together, and the softball world began to recognize the name Ed Rose. The 90s brought a new chapter, Florida Mulch. This is where Ed stepped into leadership, not just as a player, but as the architect of a culture. His team dominated the USSSA state and world championships year after year. He earned multiple Manager of the Year honors and built teams defined by grit and chemistry. Florida Mulch wasn't just a team, it was a movement, and Ed Rose was the driving force behind it. By the late 90s, Ed had entered his 50s, but slowing down was never the plan. He was playing in the 40s, 45s, and 50s divisions, often winning in all 3. Then came the Orange Crush team. In just 3 short years, that team collected 25 major titles, including the SSUSA 50 and over World Championship. After that, Ed joined the Sautre Legends out of Texas, helping them win back-to-back ISF titles, losing only 2 games in 3 years. These were Ed's power years, the era where his leadership and his swing were both at their peak. Just when Ed thought he might hang it up, destiny called, literally. Audie Hollis reached out with a vision to build a contender in the Florida Half Century League. At the time, Hollis Appraisal ranked 8th in the state. Together, Ed and Audie built something incredible: 9 straight state titles, 70-plus national championships, and 1 unforgettable streak. 21 innings across 3 games, scoring in every single inning without ever being retired in order. By 2004, Ed Rose was inducted into the SPA Hall of Fame. He'd gone from player to builder, from competitor to legend. From 2005 to 2009, Ed helped lead the Hollis and Rose Enterprise programs into total dominance. They won SSUSA Winter and Spring Nationals, SPA 55 and 60 plus titles, IS and ISF World Championships. Everywhere they went, you could see Ed's fingerprints in the strategy, the preparation, and the calm leadership that players rallied around. He wasn't just winning, he was building champions. Eventually, Ed and Holly combined forces in sponsorship and leadership. Hollis handled the 60-plus team. Ed formed and led the 65-plus powerhouse. Together, they redefined what senior softball could be, built on trust, excellence, and loyalty. In 2012, Ed was inducted in both the FSSA Legends and Heartland Hall of Fame. The game had found one of its most enduring ambassadors. When Ed reached the 70-plus division, he made a transition from managing to mentoring. He joined Venom under sponsor and general manager Pete Tacos. Pete ran the team's operations while Ed focused on recruiting and player development. The result? As you would expect, a dynasty. Venom captured tournament of champion titles, national championships, and the SS USA Major Plus World Championship in Las Vegas. Venom just didn't play softball. They set the standard for it. Venom won 9 straight national titles and never lost a TOC in 8 years. Then came the hardest chapter of them all. While Ed was still playing with Venom, Ed was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. It was a battle that tested his spirit like never before. But if you know Ed Rose, you know he never backs down. Even through the treatment and exhaustion, he stayed on the field, because for him the game wasn't just a competition, it was therapy. At 79, he moved into the 80-plus division, joining a Texas team he'd once played with decades earlier, the Mavericks. And just like that, the story comes full circle. The Mavericks only lost 2 games all season and captured the SS USA 80-plus world title. It was proof that the heart of a champion never fades. Today, Mavericks keep that tradition alive. A team of legends still writing new chapters. And right in the middle of it is Ed Rose, playing, teaching, inspiring, and proving that passion does not have an expiration date. After 40 years at the top, Ed continues to represent what senior softball is all about: loyalty, perseverance, and pure love for the game. From the sandlots of Brevard County to the bright lights of Las Vegas, Ed Rose, his name stands among the greatest to ever play senior softball. His Hall of Fame resume reads like a softball encyclopedia. SPA Hall of Fame, Florida Half Century Hall of Fame, SS USA Hall of Fame, ISA Hall of Fame, Florida Space Coast Hall of Fame, FSSA Legends Hall of Fame, Heartland Hall of Fame. Over 220 championships, decades of leadership, and a lifetime defined by excellence and loyalty to the game he loves. So from all of us who've shared the field, the dugout, and the journey with him, congratulations, Ed Rose. You're more than a champion. You're a living legacy.
Rose here has been a premier player for 57 years and maybe won more world titles than anyone else at the Major Plus level. He's now 77, along with my buddy Steve Imlay, who's 74. We're working on what we can do to see about getting maybe 5 to 10 more mile-an-hour exit speed, maybe more home runs, and basically for most people, hitting balls over the heads of the outfielders that cheating in on them. Now here's a shot of Ed recently, and I can see what's at the point of it.
Bottom of the 6th.
30, 20.
30, 20.
We're gonna show that last hit. It looked like it had a chance to get over, but Ed Rose makes a nice play on it and reaches up at the last minute and takes that one away from him. Just nice stretch, Ed.
Whenever the talk turns to Space Coast softball, Ed Rose's name pops up as quick as a fly ball.
In fact, many people think Ed Rose is Space Coast softball, for the Melbourne resident has been unwavering in his passion for the game and its potential to help youth. Rose grew up in southern New Jersey, but his heart definitely belongs to the Space Coast. He can thank his mom for that because she enrolled the then 15-year-old Rose in Florida Air Academy, from where he graduated in 1965. "Florida Air Academy changed my life," said Rose. FAA even helped Rose land the love of his life, for he met his wife Cheryl at a school dance and married her 6 months after his high school graduation. Although the athletic Rose, who lettered in football, basketball, and baseball while at FAA, had been offered college scholarships for baseball and football, he opted instead to go into the corporate world. "I was offered $10,000 a year with North American Rockwell at the Cape," he said. "That was a lot of money back then." He earned his bachelor's degree by attending night school, graduating with honors in organizational management from Warner Southern College. At 18 and working full-time, he picked up a sport for off-hours entertainment, softball. He hasn't stopped playing in 5 decades. A master at the art of hitting, Rose was inducted into the National Senior Softball Hall of Fame in 1999. As a player and manager, he has earned more than 55 All-World nominations and has played in 121 national titles and 7 world championships. As executive director of the Florida Senior Sports Association, Rose has orchestrated the group's Feeding the Dream program, which has donated more than 8,000 pieces of sports equipment to impoverished children of the Dominican Republic. The group also provided scholarships for 2 Dominican teens to attend FAA. Ed and Cheryl have opened their home and heart to the 2 teens, who live with them while attending FAA. Rose credits Cheryl, who is currently battling cancer, for his ultimate success in life on and off the softball field. "You really don't play this game without the support of your wife," he said. A 2015 inductee into the Space Coast Sports Hall of Fame, Ed Rose.
You might have heard the pitch there a little
too flat.
Little too flat. Nope. Another shot hit in the direction of the left fielder Armitage, and he's just going to stand and watch that one go. And boy, it looks like